Yes, Alan, I can get you.
All right, then, and thank you for joining us this evening.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so right now, I just want you to give us a total roundup on what the situation is in Rwanda with regards to that COVID-19 on the sports sector.
Well, Alan, let me just first let you know that sports is a very huge industry in this country, and so many people in the country are big fans of sports. But the COVID-19 pandemic has highly affected the sports industry. Now, first off, if you look at football, the football sector is currently lacking funds to maintain their teams. And so many sports players are currently jobless. And not only footballers that are being affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, referees, ticketing officials, they're also really being affected by this pandemic. Earlier this week, a statement was released by the president of one of the top soccer clubs here in the country. And it says that 90% of most football players' salaries here in Rwanda come from their fans. So an estimated amount of 15 million Rwandan francs is received from just gate collections when they go to one of their sports games.
Okay.
And then the club has also the club that this man is coaching, it's called Rayon Sports, has come up with a campaign to raise funds from its fans during these hard times. Since Saturday last week, the club has managed to collect about 2.5 million Rwandan francs from its fans. Another thing I would share with you is that 24 matches have been able to play so far in the Rwanda Premier League. Now, I'm not so good with sports or anything, but so far I know that we're supposed this Rwanda Premier League that's supposed to be ongoing, but the clubs remain with only 6 matches to go. The season was meant to be concluded by May 31st, but now officials are not sure when the league will end due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
All right. Now, you've mentioned the games that were played. How are the games able to go on, and at the same time, we're supposed to maintain social distancing? How is that coming through?
Well, so far, the country is on a strict lockdown. There are no sports going on. There's no games.
Okay.
Basically, there's nothing related to sports going on.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So at least that's what we wanted to get on the roundup on what sports is in the country of Rwanda. But just before we end this, I want to ask you a question on a lighter note. How are the players coping with challenges and everything that's going online? Is everybody keeping up with the TikTok fever?
Well, I wouldn't say, just like I mentioned earlier on, they're being affected mostly financially, and I wouldn't, because 90% of the salaries comes from the games.
Yeah.
Yes, and that when it comes to things like TikTok, they're not these are people that go on social media and entertain people or anything, but all we know is that they are highly affected financially, and it's really bad for them so far.
Okay. Now, even in the midst of this lockdown, we still have ways and creative ways and alternative ways that players can engage their other players. Like you've seen in the States, different players, say for example in basketball, they're taking part in online games and competing with each other over the online platforms for cash prizes. What other alternatives are players and pro athletes in Rwanda using as of now?
As of now, honestly, there isn't much they're doing. There are no any alternative activities they're carrying out so far. But all I can say that there's a lot of discussions on how the sports industry can get back on its feet.
All right.
Yeah.
And just before we wrap up, you've definitely had interactions with different personalities and officials in the sports sector. With the rumors that are going on, or what that you've had on the streets, so to say, when is the earliest that you can see business resuming to normal?
Well, if you look at the number of COVID patients that are getting better, that are recovering, I think we're doing really well.
Okay.
So last week, there are 4 people that recovered this week. So the number of people that are recovering is starting to increase, and the number of people that are getting sick and going under isolation is getting smaller. So we're just hoping by perhaps next month for things to go back to normal, businesses and everything. The initial 2-week lockdown has been pushed to April 19th.
All right.
So we expect the lockdown to end on April 19th. But if things don't go so well, we're just hoping for everything to go back to normal by next month.
All right, Diana, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you too, Alan.
All right.